Alright guys, today is experimenting day. We're canning 3 things that we've never canned here on the farm before. It's not going to be a how-to video. I'm just going to take you along and show you kind of what I'm doing. I'm actually taking the recipe right out of the Ball Blue book. I usually start with the recipes out of here. Sometimes I change them up a little bit, but first off, we're going to can pinto beans. Now these pinto beans I got from our local elevator, and they sell them really cheap for 5 pounds of beans. I could have a whole row of pinto beans in my garden. Takes up a whole bunch of space and trellising, and they're great, and they came out great last year, but I didn't want to take up the room this year. I wanted to put more tomatoes in, so I figured, all right, I'm just going to buy dried beans here from our local store. So that's what we're getting going right now, and I've got 2 other things that we're going to continue with in just a little bit, but we're going to get these guys started first. First, we're just going to give our beans a little quick rinse. We got our big, nice, large cast iron saucepan, and you kind of just want to, with any bean, kind of make sure that there's no foreign material in there, no rocks or sticks or anything. I did have one bean I found that was probably past its prime. We're going to cover this with water, and then we're going to get it to a rolling boil. Just going to cover that and let that come up to a boil. Alright, now I'm running outside while the beans are coming up to a boil. I got a neighbor coming over to get 5 dozen eggs, so I'm gonna get those eggs ready. Then we're gonna go back and check our beans. Probably gonna open up this barn too, because it's supposed to be hot today. We're gonna feel how it is in here right now. We got, I don't know if I showed you guys. Maybe I should take you back there and show you. So, we've got our second batch of meat birds here, and it gets hot in this barn, so I've got, it's kind of weird setup. I do have a light going for them over there, and then I have a fan going. But this barn gets really hot, so we've been opening up the doors, get some airflow through here, and then I shut the light off during the day when it's real hot. I am going to open this barn up. There's a little breeze out here today, so that'll really help. Bee update coming soon. I'm not even going to get into it right now. There's some pickles. We got those puppies done about 10 o'clock last night, I think. It took a while, but we're done with them. Well, we're not done with them. We're done with that batch. All right, let's go back inside and go check those beans. Ooh, they're heating up fast. We're going to keep an eye on that guy real quick. And it was at this very moment that I doubted the size of my saucepan. So we're boiling right now. We're going to let this boil for 2 minutes. We're just going to pull it off the heat and let it set. So I'm just going to kind of crack that lid just like that. We'll give it a couple minutes, and we'll just pull it off the side here, and then we let it set. Basically what we're doing is taking a dry bean and reconstituting it. So these beans are been sitting around for a little bit, so they need to get some moisture in them to swell back up to actual bean size. Alright, it's been a couple minutes. We're just gonna gently slide this guy over here, and we're gonna wait about an hour. Alright, so while we're waiting for our beans to just soak here for an hour, this is the second thing that we're gonna do today, and probably contrary to popular belief, I don't think I've ever canned any venison. Now my family has, obviously, canned lots of venison, and I've eaten it that way. I like canned venison. Not sure if Candace does or not, but we're going to take a chunk of roast here that we got, partially cleaning out some freezer room for upcoming hunting season and more meat chickens. And I also want to do a little test with this and see if it's something that we're going to like here on the farm a little bit more than just making jerky constantly. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love jerky and sausage and all that kind of stuff, but it helps to have some shelf-stable meat put up in your pantry as well. So I'm going to take this is the cut of venison. It's more of a thigh muscle. It's a little bit gristlier sometimes. I don't particularly like it for jerky. So we're gonna cube this up and we're gonna can it, and then we're gonna use it as like a stew meat. So we're gonna try it this way. I'm just doing one. I'm not doing 10 deers worth of venison or nothing like that. I'm just gonna give one a shot. Like I said, it's the first time we ever did it. It's pretty easy to do this. You basically just cube it up into about 1-inch pieces, raw pack it, put a little bit of water in your jar, and then you have to pressure can it for like an hour, like an hour and 15 for pints, an hour and a half for quarts. So I have eaten this before as round steak, which this is round steak. We do have a couple recipes that we like to do around here with round steak. It's like a steak sandwich type. I believe the first video I ever did on YouTube was a round steak recipe, so if you guys want to see that. Now, like I said, it was my first video on YouTube, so you gotta be gentle. It was a learning experience, but it's one of those things, sometimes you just gotta hit the record button and jump in, both feet and get going, and that's what I did. So the third thing that we're going to can today is one of our chickens. Now this is a rooster that we called back last fall, and same idea. We're getting some freezer space, and we are putting up some shelf-stable meat. With the weather the way they are these days, you can have a thunderstorm or a hurricane or tornado or whatever come through, knock out power for a week, and there goes all your freezer full of meat that you've processed and stored and slaved over and fed and butchered, and so we're gonna get some put up. All right, we're just gonna debone this guy best as possible. I mean, it doesn't really have to be museum quality because we are just taking it all off the bone. Very small breast from what we would normally get out of a hen, so just very, very small. Not a big rooster by any means. So that's pretty much it. We're going to use the carcass for stock, so we always just take these and we'll put them in the freezer, and then we'll put a whole bunch of carcasses together, make our chicken stock out of. So we're going to just debone and deskin the rest of this stuff and chop it up into 1-inch pieces. All right, we got all our meat chunked up here. We're just gonna fill jars. One thing, you wanna start with a warm jar. But the biggest thing here is you want to have a lot of head space. You have to have like 1 inch to 1.5 inches of head space in here. And that's with when we put the water in too. Candace wants dark meat in one jar and white meat in another. Not the biggest rooster. We had, we incubated a bunch of chicks, was it a year ago? About a year ago now, and it worked great, but you pretty much get 50-50 roosters and hens. So we had to take about 8 or 9 roosters and call them, which is fine because we get meat. So now we're doing our venison here, same idea. It'll work right there, I think. All right.
We got 3 jars of venison, 2 jars of chicken.
Yep. All right, just got some boiling water here on the stove, and we're just gonna put a little bit of water in here. We want to make sure we got a whole lot of head space, more than normal, and we'll pack these down too, so get some of the bubbles out of there. Probably have to have 2 separate butter knives, huh? Yeah, normally, like for a vegetable, I would put more water back in that. Not for meat. You really have to have a lot of head space for meat. Now you can add salt. We chose not to add salt. It's your preference. Alright, just like any canning, I'm gonna wipe these rims, put our lids on, finger tight. One thing too, when I'm pressure canning, I use a high quality lid. I know there's a lot of lids on Amazon and other places that probably come from other countries, I would say. I don't trust those for pressure canning. I do use some every once in a while when I'm water bath canning. There's not as much pressure to it, but I like to use a nice ball lid, a Kerr lid, you know, a name brand, good American lid. All right, let's get these guys in the canner. This guy fired up. 3 quarts of water in here, and we're just gonna put our jars in, put the lid on. And we're gonna wait till this, we get steam coming out of our vent. 10 minutes of that, put our weight on, and then we've got an hour and 15 minutes of processing time. All right, we got our beans here, and we're gonna rinse these guys. There's a lot here, so I'm gonna probably screw this up somehow. Yeah, these guys swelled up on us. We're gonna use 2 pans, but we're gonna get these guys rinsed off, split up into 2 pans, and cover them with water, bring them up to another boil. All right, we got our beans split up into 2 pans. We got 2 inches of water over top of them, and we're gonna bring these guys to a boil. Once they boil, then we're gonna let them just simmer for half an hour. All right, we're back out here to the canner, and we've got a nice full steam. Our safety knob there is up and engaged. We're gonna put our 10-pound weight on. I just gotta grab a pair of mitts. If you're like Indiana Jones, you might be able to do this without the mitt. I'm not like that, so I use the mitt. Boom. There we go. Now once it starts jiggling, we'll process for an hour and 15 minutes. All right. Our beans are boiled. So we're gonna jar these guys up. We're gonna get them going, and our meat outside is almost done as well. So we're gonna get these jarred up. By the time we get this done, our meat outside will be done, and we can flip that canner over and keep going. So I'm just gonna use a sketty getter here. That's what I call it. I don't know, slotted spoon, maybe. Is that what you call it? Slotted spaghetti getter.
Spaghetti getter, okay. I don't know.
I call it spaghetti getter. We're just gonna get those beans out and then kind of top off with fluid over top of that. I'm not worried about getting all the liquid because we're gonna use some of the liquid in it anyways. But I wanted to get the beans in here. What do you think? We're just gonna get the rest of these jars filled up, and then we'll switch everybody out here. All right, we have finally hit our hour and 15 mark, and we are just going to shut this guy off, and we're gonna let him just sit here and decompress naturally. Usually takes about, it can take about 30 minutes. So usually when this button here, it's just a safety latch. When it goes down, it's depressurized enough to pop the lid, and we're gonna get that going as fast as possible because we've got all these beans that we need to get going right now. So we're gonna let this guy decompress, get the meat out. I'll show you guys what that looks like, and then we're gonna get our beans in. And we actually had a lot more beans than I thought, which is cool. So now I don't have to buy beans, pinto beans anymore this year, which is awesome because these things are gonna be. Let's go inside and see how many cans of pinto beans we got all made up. Well, we got 18 pint jars of pinto beans here. We are gonna take these guys out and get them in the canner. All right, we are decompressed here. Our button is down. That gives me the indication that we can take the lid off. So we need to get this flipped because I don't wanna be up all afternoon trying to can these guys. So we're gonna take our weight off. Crack this lid. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. Smells like venison and chicken. They look great.
Ooh, that does smell like chicken.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And venison. Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Look at that. She hot.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to mess with that girl.
She's a bubbly.
Yeah, for sure looks good. Look at that. Look at that chicken, guys. See, the nice thing about this is it's cooked now. So all you have to do is warm it up. You don't have to re-cook it or anything. You can put it in a chicken soup or over rice or however you want to do it, but it's already cooked. You could open up the jar right now and just eat it with a fork. Depends on how warm you like your meat. All right, we're gonna take this canner here, and I always like to put the correct amount of water back in when we're doing a second batch like this, so I just dump this water out. I probably could just add a quart of water to it and it'd be all right, but it doesn't take that long really. And we're gonna put 3 quarts of water in this and a shot of lemon juice, and then we're gonna double stack our beans and get them going. We got our water in, we got our lemon juice in, got our fire lit. We are double stacking our beans. I believe I can get 18 pints in here. All right, we got our other rack here. Put it right down. Double stacking. Get our lid on here and we wait. Once we get steam coming out of the vent, we'll wait 10 minutes, put our weight on, wait for it to jiggle, and then we're going to process these guys for an hour and 15 minutes. We're vented and we're going to put our weight on. Just like Indiana Jones. All right, we've got our 1 hour and 15 minutes done. We're gonna shut this guy down. We'll let that guy normally decompress. And you know, why not? Let's cook something else, right? So the girls wanted some shrimp fried rice tonight. This is kind of a Gagne style recipe. I'll show you guys what we're doing. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe it'll give you a different idea, something to do with your shrimp fried rice on Blackstone. Got our Blackstone hot, as you can see with the awesome smoke. A little bit of shrimp, a little bit of Old Bay. A little bit, right? Old Bay's good stuff. And then we put a little bit of the old Tony's Creole seasoning on there. Cook these guys up.
Oh my gosh, that smells amazing already.
These guys don't take long. Doesn't take long for our shrimp. We're gonna get these guys back off the Blackstone quick. Like to get some of that juice in there. Oh yeah. Candace is gonna dump some rice on here. I'm gonna try to, there we go, not lose it. Now we got 3 eggs. We're gonna crack in the middle of this guy here and try not to make a mess.
You're gonna make a mess. You know you are.
Probably gonna make a mess. Aw. Fail.
Fail.
Now this is the weird part. This is where the old Candace throws a wrench in the system. Is she likes to use broccoli instead of like peas and carrots like any other normal person on the face of the earth. But the girls like it too. So we're gonna fry up some of that broccoli. Give her a little shot of EVOO there, like Candace likes to say. So Candace said put this on there. It's special secret Gagne Farms sauce, which consists of sesame seed oil and soy sauce. All right, our button is down. We are pulling our weight, taking this off. Come check this out. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. It's like bean soup
good.
in a can. Oh my. Oh my. Well, this experiment I think went really well today. I'm glad you guys got to hang out with me and see me do something a little bit out of the norm. But I appreciate you guys following along. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Can Candace can it? We'll find out on Canning with Candace. Let's go.